Apparently the recording's about to start. There we go.
And that was the longest nose hair I've ever seen, Chase. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's just like it was like pulling like a clown scarf out of my nose.
I don't like that at all.
That's not a good visual.
To be fair, I was more concerned the nose hair had multiple colors. I don't know.
They're all tied together.
That's the weird part, right? How do you even get a purple nose hair?
It's like, now that I know you guys can hear me messing with this, let me turn it down a little bit because I don't want to like blow you guys' headphones out. Okay.
You just
okay.
turned it up.
It's actually at the point now that I'm talking and it's so loud it's muffled. All right, so Final Fantasy VI is on repeat in my background, and we are meeting once again because we couldn't meet this summer because I had the worst upset tummy and a face covered with jalapeno juice. And all kinds of just awful things happening to me because of one jalapeno pepper.
To the credit of jalapenos, you did it to yourself.
And he put his face in olive oil mid-shower. I get a call from the bathroom. Samuel, give me the olive oil. Not gonna ask questions.
This is what you've allowed in your house, Sam.
Yeah,
I know. My house is run amok, Garrett.
My skin was so oily after that. It took like 2 scrubs from my facial exfoliant to like get it anywhere near normal.
But you were radiant afterwards.
Yeah, I had this beautiful skin.
And you smelled of, as you said, Olive Garden, which
I really wanted some breadsticks after getting out of the shower.
The smell of Olive Garden does not. I don't feel like olive oil really is. I feel like it's more like nasty pasta water. But...
Okay. Olive oil is like the Little Caesar. I mean, olive oil. Olive Garden is like the Little Caesars of Italian food. It's pretty bad, but I mean, you'll still eat it.
It's cheese and pasta. Everything is just cheese and pasta. How can you not like it?
Overcooked pasta.
All I know is you go somewhere, you break out that Lifetime Unlimited pasta pass, you throw it down the table, all the ladies and boys come at you.
Yeah.
They're all like, "Oh, baby, you got that pasta pass?" I'm like, "For me." Where did that? I think that card says Garrett, not wannabe.
But like they get like really winded the moment they stand up, of course.
Oh no, I get tired just looking at the card.
That's all like dabbing their foreheads.
That being said,
a mixture of exhaustion and like slight arousal. Let's be honest.
The card does allow me to walk to other people's table and take their breadsticks. I'm essentially a guy. Yeah, no. I mean, they can complain the manager all they want, but that's unlimited pasta pass member. Like, all right.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Or even better, you just bring your fork to their table and just start eating it for them.
Or you just grab a bread and you just dip it in their soup and then just don't say anything and walk away.
Like about a third of the way through, like, this is shit, and you walk off.
Yeah, you have a horrible taste.
To quote a famous starship captain, what does a god need with pasta? Silly, that's what.
Oh goodness.
Oh.
Okay, so my dear friends. Garrett, you haven't done the catch up in a while. Just a minute's worth of catch up, no more than that.
Okay, Peter got beat up by literal like teenagers, like rowdy teens that came and broke into his museum and did rowdy teen things. And he was very cordial with them, and he promised them he wouldn't investigate things further, and then he immediately began investigating things further. Jeb had like I think he's trying to get in closer with the church as a whole.
For the purposes of investigating.
Yeah, but it was decided that like we can't risk Jeb risking his maybe good stature. Because we've determined that like Skunk Ape Church and creepy tent revival guy are like linked in ways. And we had a library montage where we studied,
learned all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, it was actually like a montage.
Yeah.
So yeah, we determined that I think just Peter and Beryl are going to try to break into this dude's gigantic trailer.
Frank said he'd do it.
Yeah, Frank's changed his mind. He's too chicken shit for any of this stuff. That sounds about like Frank. No, Frank's kind of
I've always found when breaking and entering, the less people, the better.
Oh no, you need a conga line coming out of that RV.
God.
That's your cover.
Yeah, right.
As a party.
You just look at Pastor Randy and be like, look, I mean, just because you weren't invited to the conga line doesn't mean you got to like throw shade at us, okay?
I'm conjuring for Jesus.
I think it kind of ended up that me and Beryl have no real idea how to do this.
Yeah, totally. We're clueless.
Yeah, I guess that's where we can start. You guys, it's the three of you. You're meeting with. Actually, you know what? Let's take this back a little bit. We're gonna do a little bit of since I've managed to hit on the two of you separately. I'm gonna hit on Beryl a little bit. Okay. So
Beryl's at the burglary store.
What do you recommend in terms of gloves?
Yeah.
How breathable is balaclava?
We'll say before you guys get together to kind of plan this whole thing out. Beryl, you're working at the Pickaxe.
Okay.
And fairly not terribly busy. I mean, it's about like 3 p.m. Most of the college kids are still kind of doing their thing. You're not really. It's more cleaning than anything else. Occasionally, like
sort of in between, lunch and dinner.
Yeah. At which point, Destiny, she comes up to you and she goes, "Haven't seen you in a minute."
I had to go do some research at the library for a little while.
She just kind of laughs and goes, "Dork." She's like, "What you researching?" Researching.
You didn't get into the beer here, kid?
She's like, "Oh, fucking judge me."
No shade. We're actually looking into some possible spoopy stuff happening, maybe.
She's like, you guys just aren't. You're not gonna. She's not being angry with this. She's like, you guys just aren't going to stop with this, are you?
Apparently not. Once again, I'm not entirely thrilled about the idea, but apparently it's meant to happen. I just can't stop doing it. So this is my life now. Accidentally.
She's like, well, I mean, you know the risks. You guys managed to survive. A giant rat man and a giant and a I don't know if she was giant really, but any size spider girl is too big of a spider girl. I think we can agree on that.
I only almost died just the one time. This whatever.
She's like, so yeah, don't be stupid when dealing with the supernatural. So
not to be, dude. I promise you, stupid shit sometimes happens. Did you know? Peter kept going on about the skunk ape, the Bigfoot and whatnot.
She goes, yeah. He put up pictures of werewolves in the store and stuff, as I recall.
He was not trying to throw shade at you guys. I think.
Oh no. She's like, no, we didn't take any kind of offense by it. It's just, I mean, we try to kind of keep our whole thing kind of on the down low. But I mean, between you and me, I don't think anyone's really going to believe him that there's werewolves up here.
And that's sort of, I guess, the beautiful thing about it is that he's telling the truth and that no one is believing him. But yes, the skunk ape is real. And they picked him up and took him to a house in the middle of the fucking woods the other day. So that was really terrifying.
Okay. Okay. One. What? Two. What?
Right? So, okay, did you hear about that fucking revival that's going on Boxcar Ridge? There's a goddamn church revival that's going on now. I know it's sort of a weird season, but weirdly, we got a note passed to us that we might want to go check it out up there, and it turns out that coinciding with that tent revival is a collection of not only skunk ape but also fucking pterodactyl and hoop snakes, which are snakes that just bite their own tails like an Ouroboros and then just roll on. down the way. Yeah. So, and they're all congregating in what looks like it might be some sort of cryptid church. And so we were trying to investigate that, and so Peter got real close to one of them, and it fucking picked him up and carted him off. And then we found out that maybe there's the pastor of the tent revival is somehow involved with this cryptid shit.
So here's something, Beryl. About 2 years ago, I saw the spirit of heroin addiction on the other side of things.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it had needles sticking out of its eyes and syringes for fingernails. And somehow or another, everything you just said for the past minute is the craziest fucking thing I've ever heard.
I swear, dude. I wish I was at least half. But no, this shit is fucking weird as hell. And yeah, the fact that like church also cryptids. It's.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This is all news to me. We don't really like mess with the whole Christianity, Judaism, all that kind of stuff. I mean, we're not saying it's not real, but we got our own things to deal with.
Yeah, it's really not really mine or Peter's thing. I think we were both fairly uncomfortable. But oh yeah, there's a pastor who does some sort of faith healing that maybe it's actually something supernatural. That's fun. He's got wounds on his hands and he touches people and then they don't have neurological diseases, I guess.
Oh, does he have like a bunch of people singing and stuff and dancing during the whole thing?
Weirdly, not a lot of pomp and circumstance. More just like regular ass preaching, and then he comes out and then he touches somebody and then he fucking dips out.
Well,
it's not a whole like I'm gonna blow the wind of God on you or whatever. Like, it's really not very theatrical, which is the sort of like interesting part.
Well, not gonna lie, this is all kind of out of our wheelhouse. Me and the boys. That being said,
just to keep you in the loop here, is the current.
Well, no. So actually, since you kind of told me all this, how about this? I think the boys would agree in saying that we maybe kind of owe you guys a little something. I mean, you guys really helped us out of that whole thing. I mean, we still don't know. Well, I mean, we still don't really know where Scavenger Wolf is, but I mean, like that whole thing could have gone really bad, and caused a lot bigger of a mess. And you guys really helped out with that.
I thank you, but thank you.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying is, if you guys happen to, I mean, we don't really necessarily know what we can do, but if you have any kind of like questions, you can hit us up. I'll text you our, you already got my number. I'll text you.
By the way, what's the deal with you going to Europe, kiddo? When are you supposed to head out?
So I'm supposed to head out the beginning of the summer, but I mean, it's kind of hard to describe this whole thing that I got with the guys. Yeah, I mean, like this is something I've wanted to do since I was a little kid, but I mean, we got territory that we're looking out over here, and I mean, I mean, there's more of us out there. I'd probably be able to find some people over there, but like, I don't know. It's like we told you, what the three of us have. It's closer than family. So there's a little bit of that going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, keep me posted, dude. Let me know. So if you're gonna go away, we're gonna do a going away thing. She's
like, oh yeah, just find me on Instagram. I'll be posting pictures throughout the whole trip.
Okay, all right, definitely. Just keep your ear. If you hear anything about, I don't know, I guess weird church shit, Oh, it's your girl, okay.
She goes, we'll see what the spirits have to say.
Okay. Good luck with that, Hermione Granger.
She's like, all right, smartass. Okay, so later that day, the four of you meet, you three and Frank, and we'll say that you are meeting at Jeb's apartment, back at the Hill Manor Apartments, which is where you guys live too, funny enough. So yeah, Frank, he comes in. You guys are already there since you all live there basically. And Frank, he shows up maybe like pretty much right on time, maybe like a minute or two late. But he's brought a couple of 6-packs, and he's like, okay, so I guess we're going to be doing the breaking and entering thing. I guess we kind of need to figure out a bit of a plan for this.
Well, before that, welcome Franklin to the meeting. Would you like a spot of tea? I made some.
I've got a mug.
He goes, you know what? Yeah, sure. I don't know if any of you guys are heavy drinkers or anything. Hopefully you're not heavy drinkers. But, if you want to, I got some brewskis. I'm going to put them in the fridge.
Oh, fair enough. And Peter also gets up and gets him a mug of tea.
Jeb's double fisting a tiny little teacup and whatever shitty beer Frank has.
I love it.
And Jeb, I'm amazed. We're all drinking from mugs. I don't know where you got that tiny teacup from. I'm amazed
Are you drinking with the pinky up at least?
Yes, because Jeb actually thinks it might do. No, he's kind of somehow holding the saucer while holding the teacup, while also the teacup is his only like small cup that he actually uses for tea. It's the only thing he'll drink tea out of.
Okay, I like that.
Frank, he takes a drink and he's like, Peter, I'm usually not much for the whole hot tea kind of thing. This is good. What is this?
Oh, this is just a chamomile blend that I get flown in from. Well, not flown in, but it's from England. It's wonderful.
Oh.
He's like, it's good. It's I don't know, calming. Does that sound about right? Does that sound fancy?
Chamomile equals calm.
He's like, all right, fair enough. He keeps drinking. Yeah, he's clearly kind of digging it.
Phoning over here. Adorable.
He goes, so what exactly is the plan here?
Oh, well, I have this, and Peter reaches behind him and pulls out just a black balaclava, puts it over his head where it's just the eye hole. Like, this is what I have.
So, actually, Peter, it's not a half bad idea. I mean,
it's probably not a bad start. I mean,
I only have the one.
I thought about trying to Google it, but then I was like, no, I really don't want to be put on any fucking watch list. Like,
how to be an
Yeah, it didn't seem like a prudent.
He's like, well, I think I can. He's like, the Army Navy store down on Main Street. I'm sure they got some balaclavas and stuff like that. Probably not like crowbars and stuff. That's going to look suspicious. But
yeah, it's not like there's some burglar store or something.
The Thieves Guild.
Oh my god!
I would imagine if we needed something as crude as a crowbar, we could ask someone at a local hardware store. Jeb, do you carry crowbars?
That's the one thing we don't carry. I don't know why. I could just never.
Very interesting. Very strange.
The Eagles has it, strangely enough. Next to bananas.
You're on.
He's like, well, we could get a bunch of fertilizer and blow up the thing. No, let's not do that. No, so
Joke about that shit, please.
I don't know how to B&E, but I do know how to make homemade explosives.
Well,
he's like,
right?
He's like, well, I mean, it's an RV. Like, how bad of security could it really be? And like, I mean, do we want to?
So, it's not like some piece of shit. Like,
Well, yeah, but at the same time, like, I mean, do we want to be really careful with covering our tracks? Like,
well, these very people threatened me, and since I'm part of this, I'd rather they think I'm keeping my promise instead of assaulting me at my place of business again.
Mm-hmm. He goes, good point. Well, yeah, we don't want them attacking you again. That would be bad.
Well, that brings up another point. We should probably, at some point, form some sort of alibi for Peter, so that he can, be safe. Because I don't want this coming back on him. Because if something happens to, the preacher, the trailer, I imagine they'll come to Peter because they know he's involved somehow. So we need to create an alibi for Peter. I don't think breaking an RV will be too bad. I think the important thing is not getting caught, in the act, right? So like we got to figure out some way to ensure that the preacher or none of his loyal subjugates are going to like stumble across us.
Do they all go into the tent when they're doing their revival stuff? Would that be a good time? Because it seems like they're all kind of. I mean, we could stake this out presumably and sort of see what the pattern is here, but.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with Beryl. I believe the most prudent time would have to be during the performance. I don't quite know what you call one of those.
Sermon. I would call it a sermon.
Okay. Then the sermon.
Mm-hmm.
Why not both?
The performative sermon?
Yeah, sure. Not a little bit of a show, right?
Yeah. It's got to attract people. So yeah, well, I mean, maybe I don't know. This is a weird thing. Should we check and see if that model of RV has like security? I mean, I've never been in a fancy RV before, so I don't know if that's something we need to look into because maybe they do.
Okay.
That would be the GM says in the backs of your mind. That would be a role that you would have to do. We will say intelligence and academics. Intelligence or academics. Intelligence plus academics or intelligence plus computer. Since you're basically looking into like, maybe there's like, some like computery, Wi-Fi kind of stuff you guys might want to look into. That being said, since neither of you guys, I'm assuming none of you guys have a history of breaking and entering and larceny and stuff like that. I'm going to say it is going to be at a -2 difficulty.
Well, I have nothing in academics or computer.
I mean, that gives with the -2, it takes away my academic thing, so I still have 4 dice.
That's pretty good. I just have 2.
So you said it was intelligence and academics, right?
Yeah.
I got one whole little dice.
Actually, I would have none because it's a -3 unskilled at academics. So I literally have no dice.
A chance dice.
Honestly, like,
it's the riskiest Google search I've ever done.
If Jeb wants to sit this one out, the two brainiacs can make rolls for him.
Yeah, I've never been too good at the computers. It took about 5 days to me to figure out the POS system at the hardware store. It was horrendous. So.
It was worse in high school. It took him 7 days to figure out how to close MS Paint.
I should have never opened that godforsaken app.
Okay.
All right. We doing this, Beryl?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Oh, I got a 10.
Oh, shit. 2 successes plus 2 successes. One of them's a 10. 2 successes here.
Holy crap.
Just the one here.
Okay, so yeah, you guys have found that there are no, we're going to say there's no like computery, hardware-y stuff in the particular model that you recognize. It takes about a day, kind of like looking. It's a fairly recent popular model, we'll say, because I don't know fucking shit about RVs, so we'll just say that. It's fairly high end, but I mean at the same time, people who buy RVs are generally elderly people. They're not going to be decked out with the latest in Wi-Fi shit, some models do have alarms, though. You do know that. And all of that means is that when you guys finally go in on this, I'm going to give you a +1 on your larceny roll when you decide to be an E on this.
Oh.
This
does
is
that
like
make up
whoever
for like the being unskilled, or
what's that?
Does that make up for it being unskilled, or can I?
Honestly, like, I mean, if you're unskilled, yeah, that'll basically negate that kind of thing. But yeah, like whoever ends up doing it, of the 3 of you guys, whatever your plan ends up being. So yeah, you guys, while you guys are discussing that, we'll say, Peter and Beryl, they kind of like bounce that idea back and forth and be like, hey, I might have found something like this right here. Maybe it'll be useful. So yeah, with that known, Frank's like, so let me get this straight. We're wanting to hit this during a sermon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so do we all four of us want to do this, or like, I think I remember a couple of days ago when the plan was that Jeb wanted to kind of set it out in order to, like, in the event that he was caught, at least one member of the group would look like good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've always thought that less might be better. So maybe at least only 1 to 2 of us, and then maybe anyone else can run lookout or distraction or something to that effect. I mean, Jeb, you already have a bit of an in with with some of those folk. They might be more susceptible to you stopping them for a moment or asking a question or something. And Frank, you could ask them about explosives or smoking. I'll admit, Frank, I've known you like 5
Just
months now.
your two favorite things, Frank: blowing things up and smoking cigarettes.
Oh, Family Feud. You could
And
ask.
Family Feud.
Oh God, I forgot
At
about
one
the
point, Frank
feud.
looks on the shelf and sees and eyes all those copies of the Steve Harvey collection.
The bootleg Family Feud DVDs.
Oh God, that
So,
crystal white smile.
But I mean, since I'm already about neck deep in this, I figured I would volunteer. And Beryl, you're free to be a lookout, or you're free to come with me. But I think
I'll
that would
help
be
you. I don't know what help I'm gonna be, but I'll help.
Frank goes, so what I'm thinking is it might be best if 2 people, whether it's Peter and Beryl or me and Beryl or me and Peter, whoever, 2 people are at the very least in the actual trailer, because 2 sets of eyes are better than 1. There's like the idea of there's essentially a lookout within the trailer as well.
Well, I do say once again, I think I have to definitely be one, because if anyone's going to notice something unusual, be it a religious iconography or something, I might have the better chance of us all.
Yeah, definitely.
So Peter's in the trailer. So we're gonna put Peter in the trailer then.
I'll go.
Peter picks up the pepper shaker that represents him and puts it on top of the cucumber that represents the trailer.
Jeb having vegetables.
We're gonna make 2 sandwiches, Peter.
Yeah. At which point, Frank, he pulls out his pack of Marlboro Reds and puts it next to the trailer and says, "So what I'm thinking," or next to the cucumber. He's like, "So what I'm thinking is, while you and Beryl are in there, like, I can maybe like help you guys get in per se, and then like I'm going to essentially like maybe kind of wander off, because enough people gathered around there after that's going to look suspicious, right?"
I mean, yes.
Yeah, so like I find a place to kind of stake out and just kind of between the the big tent and the RV, and if I see anything, like I'm going to like text you guys or something like that.
Okay. I mean, that sounds about right. Jeb, what do you think you can do for all this?
Well, so I was thinking I'd kind of run kind of the role of heading off anyone that might be going towards the trailer, from the tent, because as we know, the pastor and his followers go immediately back to the trailer. So I was thinking I could literally head them off, stall essentially. I think if y'all aren't out in time, then I'll just kind of do that. And again, I can always take you off. I think if I hear anything, I'll try to get up real close and try to like mosey and mingle with the crew. And if I hear anything like, "Oh, let me go back to the trailer real quick and grab that one thing," again, head them off. So that's kind of what I see, and I'm open for any input. But that's kind of what I was thinking for my role in the whole thing.
Okay, so Frank, and he puts the cigarettes near the cucumber, like meets us here, and he takes the salt shaker. Beryl, you're with me, getting with Frank in there, and he puts the salt shaker in the cucumber. Then he picks up the action figure of Bo Duke. It's like over here, right next to the napkin dispenser here. That is, and I don't know why you own a personal napkin dispenser. You're right here, kind of and looking out.
So we'll add some flavor to that. That napkin dispenser is from the Waffle House in Stonewall that Jeb spent a considerable amount of time in at all hours during the day.
Okay.
Is it one of those things that the Waffle House doesn't realize they donated it to you?
Yeah, it was one of those things. Like Jed's a pretty, on the straight and narrow, but he just really liked, something.
Kids are kids.
He had a really nice night there, and we're just gonna leave it at that. And he wanted a memento, so he took the napkin dispenser.
That's actually kind of cute.
There's no judgment here, my friend. All right, and you were mentioning an alibi for me. I can call my sword teacher, and as long I'll drive, I'll close the shop as normal. Or museum as normal. I will drive my Jeep to his house, and as long as someone can pick me up, I'll get him to cover for me because he owes me after I've been paying for some of these lessons. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
How much are you paying this guy for?
It's not a matter of the price at this point. I think we both discovered things about each other. I think I was a novice looking for instructor. I think this guy watched a lot of action movies and anime and thought he knew how to sword fight. And we've kind of been teaching each other at this point.
but Peter's still been paying him.
I mean, look, I feel bad. I mean, I give him some money.
Yeah. Well, that's cool that you have someone that would do that for you. That vouch for you. That's good.
And make no mistake, this guy has, he is rocking the kind of balding, but there's still a ponytail.
Oh,
Exactly what I imagine.
I imagine he literally looks like current day Steven Seagal.
Oh yeah, very much. Kind of walking around with a muscle shirt, even though he does not have the physique for a muscle shirt.
And like pants, they're baggy enough that he can do action stuff in if he needs to, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, that worked out great. Then, someone to pick up Peter. That's Peter's alibi. Are we missing anything?
Mm-hmm.
Frank goes, I mean, I can go pick him up.
Maybe I could ask. I did actually end up talking to Destiny the other day about everything that's been going on, and she said it was the wildest shit she'd ever heard.
She was joking, right? I mean, she's a werewolf.
She's crazy. She told me that she talked to the spirit of heroin, and the shit she said was less crazy than what I was fucking saying. So
she had to been Yankee or chanting spirit of heroin.
I don't know, man. I mean, we dealt with the spirit of fucking sickness, but dancing. So
sick dancing.
Yeah.
Sick moves.
So high. So high.
She did say that she felt like they kind of owed us. So if we needed some help in some way, I don't know. I mean, they're not really adept in the sort of religious realm here. So on that side of things, so maybe we could get a wolf cop or a wolf biker man, or to come and just keep an eye on things, maybe.
Did Officer Park mention me?
I didn't talk to him. I only talked to Destiny, but
he definitely didn't mention me.
I mean, I didn't talk to him, so I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's understandable. I'm forgivable.
If we're getting any of them, I think it should be Clancy. I'm just saying. He seems like a good dude. I just think he's the right guy for the job. Just Clancy's.
Just hit him up. Y'all seem to kind of hit it off like the last time we did our little op with. Oh God, we did an op with the werewolves.
An operation.
Yeah, but y'all seem to kind of vibe. So do you want to shoot him a text and see
Here's
if he's...
the thing. I don't know how he fits into it. I don't know what he can really do besides he's just another person. So I don't know.
They can move through the I'm gonna say
the mist, the void.
Yeah, so maybe he could kind of operate as a go-between. I mean, I'm just trying to think of other ways we can get support here. It might.
Well, I mean, this could come in support being maybe of whatever we discover they could help us with after, or if you feel like we need more eyes on the scene. I mean, I did send Officer Park.
A cop about.
I mean, you got to think. I mean, if we end up hitting them up over this kind of stuff too much, I mean, it could be the kind of thing where they could eventually be like, look, you guys kind of need to deal with your own problems.
Oh, for sure. So
All right. I think just stay to our little quartet here, and so we've got a good plan. I don't think we're missing anything. We'll find out if we are, and plan accordingly.
As that definitive was being said, you hear Peter just kind of not listening but mumbling himself like, I mean, I sent Park a text saying I'd make him a lasagna, and he never responded. I just hadn't heard from him at all.
Will Officer Park get back in touch with Peter? We'll find out in the next recording.